Welcome everyone. We are here at the GCC Summit and Awards Night. Today we are in conversation with the CEO and MD of 𝐿𝐿, Ajay Trehan. Welcome Ajay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
At the onset, I would request Ajay to talk about the journey you have been with 𝐿𝐿, a little bit about what you do at 𝐿𝐿 and how is your client base. You serve the GCCs a lot, so tell me more.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for first, the interview here today. So I founded 𝐿𝐿 about 20 years back. 20 years sounds like a lot of time. Been to build a company 20 years back and to reach where we've reached. So we started with the prospect of solving the employee background screening problem in India. When we started back in 2005, this was a largely services kind of organization. We were more a KPO,
Right.
In the traditional Nasscom, terminology that's been used, where we were basically processing data on behalf of our customers as we were helping them onboard and background check their employees. Today, we've transformed to a technology company which happens to do trust and authentication. So it's a significant transformation for us as a company. And that's the journey that we've been through in the last 20 years. We are the largest company in the business of trust and authentication today. Work with close to about 2,500 customers in India. The team is built 𝐿𝐿 to a global organization right now. We've got clients all over the world. And many of these organizations are organizations that are now set up GCCs in India.
Sure.
We started doing business with them way back in 2006-07 when there were just a few GCCs. It's been an interesting journey of transforming the way they hire employees, to look at their hiring processes and see them evolve over a period of 15-20 years. So that's been the journey for us as a company, and happy to be here.
Great. That's a great introduction. And, following up on that, you talked about, transforming into a technology company now. So beyond the basic, digitization, how are you leveraging the digital tools right now for your employee verification processes, for strategically hiring these employees?
Yeah. So back in 2005 when we started, and we were fortunate enough that there were a few GCC organizations which were one of our first few customers. So a lot of understanding of data security and sensitivity around personal information came because of our work with some of those early customers. And we realized that unless and until we build a digital company out of 𝐿𝐿, we are not going to be really being able to scale and be able to really service world-class organizations. So we created the first level of digitization back in 2007-08 as a company. And we, as our internal processes, we were fully digitized back in 2009-10. In fact, the biggest recognition for us came in form of a case study which Cornell University, the Johnson School of Management, drafted on us on how we converted a very manual, paper-driven process to a high degree of digitization. We realized that the initial data strategy for us was mostly around ensuring that employee data was visible to a select few people only on need-to-know basis.
Yeah.
When we are doing somebody's background check, we get to see a lot of data about that individual, but we need to make sure that within our own organization, that data is available only to people on a need-to-know basis.
Yeah.
So that was the initial strategy. Also, the second step, as we grew in the process, the first thing that the industry expected us to do was to just make sure that we are ticking the right boxes. The candidate comes in, he says, I did my education from this university, I worked in these companies, to just tick the box and say, okay, we've confirmed that yes, he's worked in these companies, he's studied from these education institutions. To where it has changed today, where, organizations like us are, are triangulating a lot of data, whether that's public data, it's proprietary data, it's regulatory data, combining it together to build a picture or a profile of the individual and to say, who is this individual? Right? Is he actually what he's claiming to be? Has he actually done what he's claiming to have done?
Yeah.
and is he really capable of being in the position that our clients want him to be in? And that became that comes very handy when we do CXO level screenings, right? So we probably do the largest number of CXO level background checks in India, work with a lot of GCCs in that space. So when we are when they're hiring at CXO level, and a lot of them coming to India right now hiring people at CXO level, they just want to make sure that they're hiring the right talent. And that's where a full profile of the individual becomes far more valuable for them than just a checkbox that the traditional background check processes. So that's where we've transformed. And thankfully, we did that transformation way ahead of the industry, and that's given us the position of leadership in the industry.
Sure. And you spoke about the data aspect. Given the evolving data laws in India, how are you using these next gen compliance measures in these verification processes?
Right. So yeah, that's the fun part. See, when we started, typically, a lot of companies started in the screening space around the time we started, or a few years after us. Because of the fact that we started working with global organizations very early in our life, our exposure to data security, our exposure to Personal Data Protection Acts was very early. So we built our systems in a manner that data protection compliance was inbuilt in the way we were doing business. So in the core architecture of Othbridge's way of doing business, compliance is inbuilt. So that made sure that subsequently when GDPR came in, and now most recently the DPDP Act in India has come into play, Othbridge as an organization is fully compliant, not only from the perspective of very simple things like consent manager and making sure that the data is visible only to the right people, which we kind of sorted 2008-9, to the new age of ensuring that data is safe on the fly. So making sure the data is moving through encrypted channels, making sure that when we are looking at somebody's personal information, and we are gathering somebody's personal information in the process of background check, the really sensitive personal information is getting redacted and is not visible to naked eye at all, including our own people. And building some of those pieces of technology right in the flow of the whole background screening process was super critical for us. And the fact that we've been a digital first company and been in that space for many years, it was easy for us. So we kind of built it fairly quickly, and that's kind of helped us as we've grown with the GCCs now in the last couple of years.
Sure. And talking about these trust issues, how do you employ different kind of digital strategies when it comes to embedding trust or different kind of assurances into the core management frameworks?
Right. So so couple of things we followed for the last 20 years, and it's just that how we've done those things have evolved over a period of time. First of all, as an organization, we were very clear that we're going to build a scale organization. So we made sure that whatever is repeatable as a process at our end should be automated. Second, we made sure that in a candidate's profile, whatever was unusual was thoroughly investigated. And third, we made sure that whatever we do is extremely secure. So everything that we've done in Othbridge has followed these three kind of basic principles. So in the first one, when we say, everything that is repeatable has to be automated. So we looked at, as we've grown to a fairly large size as an organization, we realized that our own employees were internally, carrying out a lot of processes which were very repetitive in nature. We brought in machine learning and AI very early into the way we were doing business. Okay. And we made sure that those processes become automated, and a lot of decision making, which was earlier traditionally being done by humans on saying that, okay, this profile is good or this profile is not good, is being, those decisions are moving to a machine learning or an AI system. Subsequently, we made sure that, the compliances, the movement of data, building the individual profiles of people to make sure that the data is, whatever was unusual. For example, for us to verify a degree in the past, we had to, we had to send a degree to the university, which we still do. In quite a few cases, we send the degrees to the university to get them verified, but that's a very manual leg of our process. Today, we have technology in place where we look at a degree and it automatically tells us that something in the degree doesn't kind of match with the pattern of degrees that we've seen from that university. And there is a possibility that the degree may be fake.
Okay.
So whatever is unusual in the degree or in a pay slip or in other documents that the candidate is submitting or data that he's providing is then automatically triggered by the AI engine saying that, okay, there's something unusual here and this needs more investigation. So intelligence like this has, because of almost like 1 billion odd records that we would have built over a period of last 10-15 years of very active digitization of what we've done.
Right.
It just helps us do a lot of things very quickly. In fact, for some of our customers today, right at the point the candidate applies for a job, we are able to screen and say, okay, good candidate, potentially bad candidate. Or potentially, there are areas which look unusually strange and you should kind of look at this candidate a little bit more, in a little bit more depth. What that has done is it has reduced costs of background checks for our customers and also made the process very, very, very quick. There are many customers who had to kind of screen a much larger pool of candidates earlier compared to what they have to do today, and it's all practically zero touch, all digital.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a significant evolution in the last 20 years on where we started and where our digital strategy and digital first approach as a business has taken us.
Sure. And since you've been speaking about the efficiency that you've created through these automated processes, how do you measure these strategic impacts that you create through your next gen compliance measures?
Yeah, so see, in our business, because it's a trust business that we are in, right? So we're using whatever technology we have for solving the trust problem.
Right.
There are 3 things that largely matter. One is how quickly are we able to do it. Second is how accurately we do it, and how big an impact we are able to make to our client organizations. Now imagine a large services organization like a GCC organization hiring in large numbers. For them to handle the speed at which they are onboarding talent, it's important that certain antecedents are verified very quickly. At least whatever can be digitally verified through pattern identification, through instant checks, is verified quickly.
Yeah.
So, and we've been able to do it for many of our customers. Accuracy for us is by virtue of the fact that we've been in the business for almost 20 years, so we know what to do and what not to do in these processes. So processes are very, very strongly defined. So we look at accuracy of every single step that we conduct in our process. And third is we're very proud that we've helped many of our client organizations, to earn trust of their customers. We've in the process of building this company, there are many occasions where our customers have asked us to present what we do to their end customers. So we've integrated some pieces of technology even with our customers for them to go out and kind of position those pieces to their end customers. So it's been a very interesting journey of how evolving even our sales and distribution from a direct sales and distribution company to distributing through our customers. So our customers have in a way become our partners for growth. And yeah, so that's been the journey, and that's how we've created impact for many of our customers.
That's great, Ajay. Could you share some examples of some of your digital solutions that you have moved from your traditional methods to now more digital, verification processes?
Right. So typically, see, when we do an authentication, there are 3 or 4 broad areas that we cover. One is identity of the individual. The second is the education qualification that the person claims to have. Third is employment. And the fourth and significantly important, particularly when we are hiring at senior levels, is the reputation. Right. So with identity can be verified using a lot of regulatory data that the government has opened for consumption. Education is done through a mix of use of AI, like I explained, that we can look at degrees and the patterns of the degrees, and we can identify whether this degree looks like or is similar to the kind of degrees we've received for that particular institution in the past.
Okay.
So that gives us a an edge. So having built that kind of intelligence, the education qualification, a lot of it can be done kind of in almost real time, and then rest of it moves through the conventional channels. Similarly, employment, again, integration with a lot of employee data for our employer client organizations, etc., where we brought their data with us. And last but not the least is the reputation. Now, reputation of individuals usually is spread across multiple databases. Again, some of it proprietary to Outbridge and some of it, lying in public domain. So the AI engines that we have built have the ability to crawl through that data and look for matches and literally build a profile of the individual and say that, okay, we know this person has had this litigation, or his name or a similar name has appeared in some kind of a list, a negative list released by some regulator or some government authority, and that needs to be investigated. So a lot of unusual stuff of that particular individual that could be potentially lying in public domain or in certain proprietary databases is what we cover through the technology that we build. So we have products like TruthScreen, which is close to about 180 different APIs that we can integrate with any client system. We have a very seamless candidate and employee onboarding platform called iBridge, where a candidate can very easily and very, very quickly fill a kind of job application form. And while he's filling the form, a lot of background check happens through a lot of tools that are integrated at the back. And of course, the core of all this is a lot of proprietary databases that we have built and the proprietary AI engines that have been trained over a period of time with billions of records at our end. So so it's been these are the tools that we deploy in different ways to solve different kinds of customer challenges.
Sure. Ajay, my last question to you would be around GCCs. So, in terms of GCCs, have you seen any specific demands from the end users? So, your clients, anything specific have you been hearing from them that they need in their employee verification processes?
So, yes, you see, GCCs, the scale at which they are growing, the only way they can succeed is if the talent onboarding happens very quickly.
Right.
So that's the problem we've solved for many of them, where they've come to us saying that, it typically takes us, or used to take us 15 days to 30 days to do a background check of an employee, and we can't wait for that long. Or we are interviewing at a scale where even if we were to make an offer and the candidate joins us in 30 or 45 days after an offer, and if in the process he comes out to be discrepant, and it takes 15 days for us to then hire somebody else, it's going to just completely slow us down. So we've brought a lot of digital kind of ways of doing background checks upstream for them, that right at the point of offer, a lot of these things can be quickly done. So that's been the big ask. We've seen about close to about 7 to 10% discrepant cases, because typically what we've noticed over, and this is a trend over last 15, 20 years of our being in this business, that whichever industry grows quickly, you tend to see a lot of discrepant resumes in that industry in the beginning, till the time the processes they deploy at their end for background screening settle out.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact.
Yeah. So, because this is growing very rapidly, a lot of people from very different backgrounds who can find their way are doing that, and we're seeing fairly reasonably high discrepancy percentage, and that's what we keep telling all our prospective customers as well, that follow the process to the T. Let the first level digital screening happen, and then subsequently at some point we can do some detailed screening. Also, for certain kinds of GCCs, we're doing a lot of work in the BFSI space, because we've seen a lot of BFSI and healthcare GCCs of late. In both of these industry segments, screening on an ongoing basis is very important. Now, you may have a clean resume at the point when you join the organization, but in course of your employment in the company, you may have had a litigation that you may not disclose to your employer. Now, those kind of things can be checked literally on the fly by somebody like us. So once we've done this person's background check at the point of onboarding, we can keep him background checked right through his life in the company.
Okay.
Right. So those are value additions where GCCs that are in the BFSI and healthcare space, because of them, compliance is absolutely important.
Right.
Tools like, Auth Extend, as we call it, it's the continuous compliance product that we have on the employee side, becomes extremely valuable for them.
Sure. I think, Ajay, this was an interesting conversation. Thank you for joining us today. Viewers, please do keep following us for these kind of conversations. Thank you.
Thank you so much.